Hello everyone, hope you are doing great. I'm back with another tutorial. This is Olakumbi, and in today's tutorial I'll be showing you how to sew a gathered drop shoulder yoke top. So if you're interested in this type of tutorial, please stick around. Thanks to everyone that is joining us today, and if you know you haven't subscribed to my channel, please make sure you subscribe before the end of this tutorial. Share to your family and friends and give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead. This blouse that we're going to make is a combination of two types of fabric. So I'll be using lace fabric for the upper part of the bodice, which is the yoke. Then I'll use Ankara for the lower bodice. And this lower bodice is going to have gathers. It's also going to have a high neck collar. So the first thing you do is to make your starting line. After that, you get the total length of your blouse. To get the total length of the blouse, you need to take your half length measurement, which is shoulder to waist, and whatever you have, you add 2 inches because of the gathers, then add half an inch for the joining allowance, okay, because we're going to be joining it to a band at the bottom. So altogether I have 18 inches. The next thing I'm going to do is to insert my neck width. Because of the bishop collar, I'm using a neck width of 2.5 inches, so I mark 2.5 inches here, and also the depth of the neck is going to be 2.5 inches. Okay, for the back neckline, I'll go down by 1 inch. So I'm going to connect all this together. So we have both back neckline and front neckline. So take your shoulder measurement, whatever you have, divide it by 2. I have 14 inches divided by 2 will give me 7 inches, so I'll mark 7 inches here. I'll go down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. So I'll connect these 2 points together. You will take your armhole length measurement. So my own armhole length measurement is 7.5 inches. It's going to be your bust circumference measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5. So whatever you have, you just impute it. So I'll connect it together. So this is the armhole line. Make a perpendicular line. This will be our chest line. You will take the measurement of your yoke wherever you want your yoke to be. I'll be using 6 inches for my yoke, so I'll just mark the 6 inches here. You can use, it depends on what you want. On the armhole line, you take half your armhole measurement, so just place your tape on your armhole line, fold it into 2 and mark it. After that, you impute your quarter of bust circumference measurement. Quarter of my own bust circumference measurement is 8.5. So I'll impute 8.5. I'll make my armhole curve. Okay, so I've made my armhole curve. Now the next thing you're going to do is to take your round shoulder measurement. So you're going to take your tape and measure round your shoulder, okay, to your back and your chest. So whatever you have, you divide it by 4. So I have a total of 37 divided by 4 will give me 9.5. So I'll go to this starting line here. I'll mark 9.25, sorry, using my ruler. I'll just bring that line down, but I'll use dotted lines instead. On this line, you come down by 2.5 inches. So I'll mark 2.5 inches here. Using your curve ruler, you make a curve from the shoulder slope here to meet this 2.5 mark that we made here. Then from this point, you take your ruler and remember this is the yoke. This is where the lace is going to sit. So you're going to connect this point to this point. Okay, so we found our drop shoulder. You can see it's very easy. Now we'll take this same measurement, our quarter of bust measurement. We're going to bring the same measurement down this way. So here I have 8.5. I'll bring that same measurement down. I'll connect the 2 points together. So that's about it. So we're going to cut it out right now. To cut it, we're going to be cutting at the back. We're going to cut from the back neckline. Okay. So this is what we have. I'll cut out the back again, then I'll come and prepare the front. I've cut out the back yoke and the lower bodice, so I'll just put this aside. Then I'll finish up the neckline for the front. So I'll just go ahead and label it. So I'm not putting any zipper at the back. That's why I did not leave any allowance. But if you want to put a zipper at the back, it's okay and fine. You can. Don't forget to put your allowance if you wish to. Okay. So what I'll do for my back yoke, for the hair to be able to pass through the neckline, I'll just slash it open and I'll fold it in a little bit so that it can be wide enough for the hair to pass through. This is the lace and this is the ankara I'll be using for this blouse. So I'll go ahead and place my pattern to cut out both front and back yoke. This is the back yoke. So I left half an inch because I said we're going to slit it and fold it in. Okay, so this is half an inch just for the yoke. Then I added half inch all around. Okay, so make sure you place your fabric on fold. You can see. Place it on fold before you start to add your seam allowance. So now we're going to cut it out, and I'm also going to cut out the back the front as well. So this is the back yoke. I've also cut out the front yoke. So you see, the front yoke does not have any allowance there. Okay, this is the center front. Make sure when you fold your fabric, it should always be right side facing right side. So the next thing I'm going to do is to cut out the lower bodies. We'll be working on our lower bodies now. I've placed my fabric on fold, and how do you get the fold? You multiply, remember our front bodice pattern, you multiply whatever you have here by 2, 2.5 or 3. It depends on how full you want the gathers to be. Okay, so I have 8.5 here. I multiplied this by 2 because I just want to use double of it. So I multiplied it by 2. I got 17. Then I added 1 inch for side seam allowance. Okay, so this is 18 inches here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add 1 inch at the top because I'm going to be folding it. That's at the top of the front bodies. I'm going to add 1 inch for the seam allowance. Now remember I said we are going to gather it. So if I add 1 inch at the top, I'm going to fold it over, stitch it using gathered stitch, and pull the thread, and it's going to form the gathers. So that's why I'm going to add 1 inch at the top here. So what I'll just do now is to mark 1 inch here. I'll mark it also at this point. Okay, we're also going to use our front bodies, the total measurement that we have here. I'm going to use it to mark this point here. This is our 1 inch here, so I'll mark the bottom here as well. So I'll just make a line. So this is the wrong side, I'll just make a mark. Okay, so I have that there. So what I'll do now, at my 1 inch here, I'll just make a line here. so that you can understand what I'm doing. So I'll cut this fabric out first. Okay, so this is the front body. Now you place your pattern this way. You can see this is the side seam allowance here. I'm just trying to make it understandable, especially for beginners. So I'll take this up this way and take this one. I'll make it up here like this. I just want it to be clear to you. Alright, now before we cut it, we're going to fold in this 1 inch at the top. Remember this line that we made, this mark we made. I'm just going to fold it in this way. You see what I've done? Make sure you fold it in properly. Okay, so this is the 1/2 inch side seam allowance. I'll place my pattern paper back this way, then I'll cut it out. Okay, so you see what we have? So this is our armhole here. I'll open it up this way. Can you see? So this is for the front. I'll use this one also. I'll place it on the fabric and cut the back. So this is what we have right now. We have both front and back. Okay. We'll be working on the sleeve now, and to do that we need to take our arm length measurement and also the total width of the sleeve that we'll be using. Okay, so the actual arm length measurement I'm using is 21 inches. I'll be adding 3 inches to it. That will give me 24 inches plus 1 inch seam allowance. Okay, the hemming allowance at the edge of the sleeve. So everything will be a total of 25 inches. Now, to get how wide we want our sleeve to be, what we're going to do is, let me just place this here so that this doesn't move. I'm going to measure this armhole area. Okay, so I'll just put my tape this way and measure it. So I have about 7.5 inches. So I'll just multiply this 7.5 inches by 2. Okay, so on fold, I'm going to place my fabric on fold by 15 inches. So we have 21 inches, 25 inches total for the length and 15 inches on fold. Okay, so let me just show you what we're going to do. I've gone ahead to cut out our sleeve, and I just want to explain to you what I've done. So the total measurement we got was 21 inches, the actual length measurement. Then I added 3 inches extra because of the puff. Then 1 inch on top for the gathers that's going to be on top. Then I also forgot to mention that we are going to add 1 inch also at the hem of the sleeve so that we can fold it in. Okay, it's also going to have an elastic there, so we need to fold in 1 inch so that it can case our elastic. So altogether we have 26 inches. So this is the 26 inches that I've measured here. I hope you can see that. Okay, so for the width of the fabric, remember we got 7.5 inches multiplied by 2 will give us 15 inches. Okay, so I added 1 inch side seam allowance, so we have 16 inches here. I hope you can see. Okay, so we have 16 inches here. So that is for the sleeve. Now, what we're going to do to finish it up, because we have to create our armhole, I made sure I cut the selvage here also so that it will correspond with what I already have at the top, because I just want to fold it, you know, and gather it. Okay, so the same thing I did for the upper part of the sleeve, so that everything would, you know, flow together. So I'm taking the bodies, the lower bodies now, I'm placing it at the edge. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm placing it at the edge. This is the opening of the sleeve. This is the opening, and this is the side. Okay, the fold, I mean the fold. So just place it at the edge. So you see what I'm doing? I'll just go ahead and cut it exactly the same way I did Okay, so this is going to be the top part of the sleeve. So it's going to be folded this way by 1 inch. So you can see what it looks like. It's going to be folded this way by 1 inch, and we're going to stitch on it also and pull the thread to form the gathers at the sleeve. Then at the bottom, we're going to fold it in also so that we can place the elastic, all right? And everything will be gathered up this way. We're going to take our sleeve to the machine to run our stitch, okay? So remember that for the round armhole, we got 7.5, so multiply by 2 will be 15. So for the round altogether is 15 inches, and we added 1 inch for seam allowance, so everything will be 16 inches. So when you take it to the machine, the first thing you do is to fold it over, because remember I said we're going to be running gathers, okay? So after you fold it like this, you're going to stitch on it by about 3/4 away, okay? You would stitch on it all round. Then after that, after you have stitched on it, you pull your thread, and at the end of the day you're going to be left with 15 inches when you pull your thread, okay? After pulling everything and gathering it up together, you're supposed to be left with 15 inches, and that is what you're going to attach around the armhole, okay? So this is for the sleeve. I've cut both of them, all right? So for the lower part of the bodice, this is the armhole. We do the same thing too. You fold it this way, you fold it this way. After you fold it this way, you run your gathered stitch round, pull your thread, and at the end of the day, remember the bodice, we had 8.5 inches here, and we added 1 inch for side seam allowance, so we're supposed to have a total of 9.5 inches. So at the end of the day, when you gather everything together, you're supposed to be left with 9.5 inches, okay? Unfold, 9.5 inches unfold. So guys, I've run the stitch on the sleeve, okay? So when you finish doing that, make sure you mark the center, because it's going to act as a guide for you, okay? So you mark the center and also the lower bodice, okay? So the next thing I'm going to do is to pull the thread. This is our front bodice. This is how the gathers look like. So you just gather it and make sure that it fits between your lace. You can see what it looks like. So I've used my pins to attach it. I'll take it to the machine and stitch over it. And this is the back yoke. What I'm going to do now is to cut it. I told you we're going to slit it open this way. So I've also gathered the back yoke, the back lower bodies. So this is it. I'll also attach. Before I attach, what I'll do is I'll fold it in by 1 inch. Remember we left 1 inch over there, so I'll fold it in by 1 inch, then I'll attach the lace to it. So make sure you fold it in first of all, then attach it together. This is our sleeve. I've gathered it too. So when we are going to attach it, we're going to fold in the lower part and put in our elastic. So for now, I'll take this to my machine and attach them together. This is the front bodice. I've attached the lace to it. Okay. This is the wrong side. I just want to show you how it looks. Okay. I just attached it a little bit. You can see the ruffles in front. Looks so beautiful. So I want to show you how to attach the back. Okay. So I'll rather use the wrong side. So you must check for that part where you marked. So this is where I marked the other time. And just mark it clearly. This is the back yoke. I've split it into two and I've taken it in. Okay, so this is the armhole here. I'll attach it this way. So this is the center. I'll just use my pin to secure it here. Okay, so I'm going to be stitching it now. So you check to make sure that the neck aligns. This is what the back looks like, you can see. It looks so beautiful. So what we're going to do next is to attach it at the shoulder. Alright? So we'll attach it at the shoulder. So take the front yoke, place it together and stitch. Now that we're done joining it at the shoulder, we're going to attach the sleeve. So open your blouse up. So this is our sleeve. Make sure your blouse is facing the wrong side. You take your sleeve. Look for the midpoint that you marked earlier. This is the midpoint here. So just take the shoulder line here. Joining at the shoulder. I'll use my pin to secure the lace. Okay, so I'll take this part of the sleeve. This is the wrong side facing up for the sleeve. So what you do is that you turn it like this. You can see what I'm doing. This is the right side of our blouse. This is the armhole. This is the ruffle, the top of the ruffle. Take the top of the shoulder ruffle, align it this way, let them touch each other. Use your pin, secure it. We're going to be stitching it by 1/2 inch. So you see what I've done? So I'm going to be stitching on it. I'll do the same also for the other side. This is the ruffle of the shoulder. Make sure you put it so that your ruffle forms. So you take the one on the blouse, align it with the one on the sleeve, like this. Pin it. And this is the armhole here. Pin it. So I'll be stitching it down this way. can remove this in one that you join at the shoulder so that will give you room to sew it properly. Just stop at the top of the ruffle. Okay? Just stop at the top of the ruffle. So you do the same for the other side. So when you're done with that, you open it up again. You see the armhole that you join here, the other armhole. Okay? So you look for your center point here, that you mark, align it with the shoulder line here, and pin it down. So just try to distribute the ruffles well so that it looks balanced and it comes out nicely. So you rest, you can see where we joined it. You can see where we joined it. So just rest it down at that place there. Rest it on the shoulder, on the sleeve. Okay. Then you place your lace on it this way. Can you see? You bring it down and rest it this way. Okay? Pin it. Keep pinning. This is the shoulder line here. Distribute your ruffles on the other side too. Remember the other armhole stitch also is resting down, and we have used our lace to cover it, so we're going to start stitching now. This is the armhole. So what you do is that on this stitch here, this stitch that we used to attach the lace, you're going to start from the back. You're going to put your needle in that point just before the armhole, which is here. Okay, just before this armhole which we stitched here. Remember, we're resting it down this way, so you're going to follow that line and curve it up to this side. Okay, but I want to adjust the ruffle inside so that everything will look nice. So make sure you kind of adjust it so that everything will flow as much as it can. Okay. So I'll just come down with the lace this way and start to stitch. And when you are stitching, you're going to stitch in a curve. You're going to make it form a curve this way, okay? Instead of, that's why I didn't start from this point. I should have started from this point, exactly where we attach the lace to the sleeve. But I started from the back and I'm going to bring it and cross over until it stitches all the way through the sleeve. Okay, so you start to stitching up. Just take it gently. So I'm going to cover it now. This is the point of the joining. Okay, so you cover it, you cover it, keep stitching, and keep stitching. So this is the midpoint, the shoulder line here. So when we're almost getting to the armhole here as well, what we're going to do is we're going to curve it also, just the way we did the other one. So just watch what I'm doing. Make sure you bring your lace down. Bring the lace down. Okay. So you adjust anything that needs to be adjusted, okay, so that you get it smooth. So you're going to make it touch this line, okay? This stitch that attached the lace to the lower bodice, you're going to make it touch this line to the curve. So you see what it's done? Okay. So after attaching the arm, you attach the other one as well. But when you're done attaching, the next thing you're going to do is to close up the sleeve. So this is the sleeve opening here. Attach it together and take it all the way to the armhole. So I'll first pin it at the sleeve opening. This is where we'll be attaching our elastic band. So this is the armhole here. Just okay. Okay, and this will go all the way to the lower part of the bodice. Okay. At this end also we'll be adding the band. Before we add the band, we're going to gather it down, but let's just finish with the sleeve. So we're going to stitch it from this point through the armhole all the way to the sleeve opening. This is what it looks like after sewing. So I've sewn it by 1 inch. So this is the lower part of the bodice. This is the armhole here. This is the shoulder. Okay, and this is the sleeve. So I'm taking it in through the armhole all the way to the sleeve opening right here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is to fold it in by 1 inch and give space for the plastic. This is our blouse. It's coming out very nicely. So I've attached both sleeves and I've closed it up at one side. I left one side open where I'll be attaching the zipper. So I've also created the casing for the elastic. So what you just do is to take your elastic, to get the measurement of your elastic, just measure your wrist and add 2 inches to it. So that's what I have here. So I'll just pass it through. So now that I've passed it through, I'll just secure it with my pin. Then I'll take it to the sewing machine and stitch over it this way. Okay, when I'm done stitching, I'll close it up. I'll do the same for the other sleeve as well. So we're done with the sleeve now. I've attached the elastic to both sleeves. So we're going to work on the band next. Alright, this side is open and this side is closed. So we're going to be attaching our zipper here. I'm going ahead to stitch it by 1/2 inch, okay, using the running stitch because we're going to be pulling it to gather it. So after gathering it, I'm going to work on the band. These are the strips we're going to be using for the band, and to get the measurement, use half of your waist circumference measurement. That I have 16 inches for mine, then add 1 inch. Okay, so I have 17 inches. Then the width is by 3.5 inches. All right, so I have 2 of the Ankara and 1 of the lace. So I've gone ahead to iron my gum stay on one side. Okay, so what you're going to do now is to open up the side this way. This is the right side. Take your lace, place it over it like this. This is the right side of the lace facing up. This is the right side facing up. Then this is the right side. You turn it over to the wrong side, okay? So right side will be facing the right side of the lace. So you go and stitch it. So I stitched it together. This side is the one that has the gum stay and the lace. I stitched it together, then turned it over and ironed it. Okay. Then I also went ahead and folded it in by 1/2 inch. This one also by 1/2 inch. So that's what I did. So what you do right now is to mark half of it so that you centralize it. So I'll mark it here. Then also I'll fold this one. I'll fold it 1 inch away because this one is going to be for the seam allowance. I'll mark this here. I'll do the same thing for this side as well. It's just to guide me when distributing the ruffles. So I have this. So I've also pulled the thread to form my gathers. Now, before you start pulling, please make sure you mark it so that you know the center. That's going to help us to distribute the ruffles. After pulling it, you measure to see what you have. Okay, we have about 17 inches here. So I'll go ahead and start attaching. Place your lace on the table. Then this part that doesn't have the lace, you open it up. Then you take it this way. You attach it this way. And just secure it. Then that place that you marked as the center, you go to the center and attach it also. The side seam here. You open it up and pin it. Okay, so from there, as I said, we should mark the center of the front too. So you look for your marking, open up your strip completely and on the band completely and align it together this way. Secure it with your pin. So at this point, just distribute your ruffles very well. Okay, so now that we're done pinning everything, you take it to the machine and run your stitch all through, okay? Run it all through by 1/2 inch. So at the end of the day, we'll be left with 2.5 inches because the whole width was 3.5. We took in half here, half here. So we'll be left with 2.5. So I'll go stitch it. So this is it, guys. I've stitched them together. So just flip this over to cover it up. So you take it to the machine and run your stitch over this way. What you're going to do is to add your zipper to the side. So try to close up the side because we stopped at the armhole joining here. So try to close it up at the level of your zipper, okay? So this is mine and it's going to be this way. Okay, this is the starting point here, so it's going to go under this way. So you see, I just left it. So just mark yours wherever it's going to end. So you sew it and close it up there. Then you can fix your zipper. We are now going to make our high collar. So to do that, we're going to draft it on this paper. Make a straight line first of all. On that paper, just mark any point on that line, like a midpoint. Okay, so after doing that, the next thing we're going to do is to take our blouse, then we're going to fold it this way to get half the neckline measurement. I hope you can see what I've done. This is the back opening here. So just place it, make sure that the shoulder joining touches each other. So you place it this way, then you measure. Okay, I have 4 inches, so that's for the front. So on the left side, on this left side, this is the front. You mark 4 inches. So I'll put my tape here, mark 4 inches. Then you measure the back. Place it down. And take your measurement. So I have 2.75 here. So 2.75, this is the back. So I'll mark this. So from here, you go up by 1.5 because I'm making the height of the collar 1.5. So I'll just mark 1.5 here. And I'm going to connect the point together. Okay. Then from this point in the front, I'll go up by 1 inch. Okay. Then I'll use my curve ruler to connect it to this point. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is to come up here by 1.5 inches, but at an angle of 90 degrees here. Okay, so you put your mark and draw a line to connect it. You see that? So the next thing we're going to do, put a point up here at the midpoint so that we can connect all the lines together. So I'll connect this. Okay, and I'll use my curve ruler to connect this. Okay, so we have our collar formed here. The next thing is we're going to add seam allowance at the side. Half an inch up here, half an inch down here. Okay. Okay, so we have our collar right now. This is going to be the fold here. Okay, this is the front and it's on fold. So we're going to cut it out. Okay, so this is our collar. I'll grab my fabric and cut it out. So we have the two pieces and the lace. Okay, I've gone ahead also to iron my gum stay on it. Then the next thing I'm going to do is, this is the right side. You place your lace over it this way. This is the right side of the lace also. Okay, then we flip this over to the wrong side and place it this way. So the wrong side will be facing upwards. Then you take it to your machine and stitch it at the edge by half an inch and also at the side by half an inch. This is the collar and this is how it looks now. So we're going to fold it over and iron it. But before I do that, I didn't close up this place because I want to put a button at the back. So I'm using this loop. So to do that, I made a small loop here. What you're going to do is attach it this way, facing inside, cover it up, then stitch it to close it. I fix the zipper. So the last thing we're going to do is to attach the collar. So just take your fabric like this and mark the midpoint here. So this is the collar too. You can see. So I've attached the loop for the button. This is the button I'll be attaching to it. Fold it into two. Mark it. The next thing we're going to do is this midpoint here. You can see this side. Make it to touch this side this way. Open it up. Use your pen to secure it. Okay, we are going to take it round. Okay, so you're going to take it, do the same thing for the other side. When you are done taking it in like that and you stitch it, you're going to stitch it by 0.5 inches or use the crease of the iron that we made here. After that, you turn it. After stitching it, you turn it this way and use it to cover. You see? So that's just it, guys, and your top will be ready you can go ahead and make a skirt that you use to fit it. Okay, so guys, if you've enjoyed this tutorial, please give me a thumbs up, share to your family and friends, leave any comment for me in the comment section. So until I see you in my next video, stay blessed. Bye.